Today we welcome the trading farmer
I love the farm. And so it's kind of like my identity.
who sits on Kinfo's all-time leaderboard with 1.7 million in verified profits.
And I finally had a breakthrough and I said, let's just simplify it. Yeah, but it was at my lowest point. I was basically broken. It's like kind of like an addiction story. I hit rock bottom and that's when I finally just was like these three things. It was
Welcome back, everybody. Today we welcome the trading farmer who sits in 7th place on Kinfo's all-time leaderboard with 1.7 million in verified profits. We're going to jump into his trading strategies, his industry transparency, his top tips for new traders, and hopefully just a little bit about what that name's about, because that's one of the more unusual and fun trading names I've come across. But just very quickly, I just want to say that Kinfo Pro and Pro Plus are still free for your first month. Log in, click upgrade. You can access advanced reports and analytics. Just click on the description below. But first, trading farmer, how are you? And how did you get that name?
Well, I'm doing great. Hopefully you're doing great too. And thank you for having me on. Hopefully we can put together a good show here. The trading farmer, I got the name because it's deeply rooted in my family history. We're farmers from North Dakota, and I've always worked on the farm since the 3rd grade every summer. My parents moved away. They moved here to Arizona, but their siblings still farm there, big farms, 5,000 acres, 350 cows. And ever since the 3rd grade, I would go there. And I started to just help out and work, and it kind of became a thing. And every summer I went there and I worked, and every year I got paid a little bit more. And that's how I funded my trading account. And it also was, it's just, I love the farm. And so it's kind of like my identity. And so that's the trading farmer kind of story, short version, to not bore people.
No, but what I absolutely love about this is you went from harvesting on the farms to harvesting the markets for cold hard cash, and then that's a good story. So this 1.7 million that you've made, like, what clicked for you to go from unprofitable loser trader to generating this kind of 1.7 million amount of money?
Yeah, so the 1.7, it's a little outdated number. I have to update my Kinfo. I've been a little busy with my ex-girlfriend dealing with that drama, but yeah, a little bit more than 1.7. But what clicked? A lot of things clicked, but the main thing is I simplified my approach to the market, and that was what I did when I was about ready to quit. I was, all these gurus on YouTube that I was following, whether that was Ross, whether that was Ricky, who lives here in Arizona, whether that's live traders, it's the same story. It's all this complex hotkeys and all these complex ideas, and I finally had a breakthrough, and I said, let's just simplify it. Give me a buy market button. Give me a sell market button. I'm going to get in one time. I'm going to get right out, and I'm going to have fun. Okay. And so that started with also lowering share size. And that's kind of how I fell into this hyper scalping mode. Is I lowered my share size to where I could, with my cash account at the time, take as many trades as I wanted. So it gave me this freedom to take whatever trade I wanted to. And since the size was so small, my emotions were not getting the best of me, and I was starting to just have fun. So that's one. Two, this is very important, and I teach this at Trading Farmer Plus, my course, if you will, that I really just don't, I undersell it, but max loss. I had a max loss, but I never really respected it. I always thought once I become profitable, then I'll start actually following a max loss. And it's just, it blows my mind that I used to think that, but it was at my lowest point. I was basically broken. It's like kind of like an addiction story. I hit rock bottom, and that's when I finally just was like, look, dude, first of all, you're lowering your share size because you're just trying to make $200 a day. You've made absolutely nothing. I made absolutely nothing after 12 months of trading. I didn't really lost anything, but I made not even a single dollar. And so the max loss thing, it was number 2. Okay. And the lowering share size, number 3. And that's just, a lot of things clicked. Okay, I don't want the beginners to think I just found some secret and then overnight, it clicked. There was a lot of tough lessons I had to learn, and eventually it all came together to where it was these three things. It was simplifying, it was the max loss, it was the lowering the share size, it was using market orders instead of fooling around with these brackets and these limit orders and these offsets. And I just started to have fun.
Nice. And I'm not very good with the American sports, but like with soccer, as you guys say, in football or NFL or whatever, like the best thing you can say is on a trading's full of pressure, right? So the best thing you can say to someone under pressure is, look, just go and have fun. Go and have fun, enjoy it, do your best, and see what happens. And that generally gives the best results. But I just wanted to ask you, what is what's the pattern? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to generate 1.7 million?
So I'm trading low float stocks. These are, companies that are garbage, but on one particular day, they just go nuts and they're just ripping, usually, big percentage moves. And I'm looking to just get in and get right back out and ride the volatility. And it starts with looking for, and this is especially for the 50-50 strategy that I landed on, is focusing on dips in the price. Like, I'm not just talking pullbacks. I'm talking about, say, for example, when a stock breaks out, it doesn't just go from $4 to $5. There's usually, it goes to $4.15 and then it drops to $4.02 and then jumps up to $4.20. And so that oscillation, those micro waves within the bigger move, I'm capturing those in and out over and over again. Whereas traditional traders that grew up with commissions, right? This strategy is founded in free commissions. And instead of just buying and maybe adding and holding, I'm just getting in, catching the 5 cents here, getting back in on the next dip, another 5 cents. And that way you're not putting so much emphasis on one trade. Okay. And so the patterns I'm looking for, the same as everybody, bull flags, right? I'm looking for breakouts. I'm looking for bull flags. I'm looking for ABCDs. And that's another big pattern that I teach and that I push, is what I call the W's. And this is basically ABCD pattern. But I look for these ABCDs in even the most abstract patterns, not just the traditional ABCD, but just W's in general. Double bottom, false breakdown type thing. So it's kind of a combination of looking for those W's and also looking for breakouts where I can get in and keep getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. And if it's not working, because this doesn't work on every stock, okay? Sometimes the way the market makers are working that day or on that stock, it's just like you're getting screwed on your entries and your exits. Okay, but sometimes we find these stocks, often actually, where we can just trade these micro waves, these waves, and we're just getting in and out and over and over again.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. It's really fascinating. I'm going to quickly just jump to a quick ad from today's sponsor, and then we're going to get straight back into it. Because I'm really curious how on earth you've learned this, as it's a new strategy just that's come from the commission-free model. But we'll jump right back. Unleash your trading potential with Cobra Prime. Cobra Trading has released the ultimate trader package, crafted through strategic partnerships with top businesses and software innovators. You can now gain access and discounts to leading trading tools, from advanced analytics and charting systems to trading platforms. With over 15 partners and growing, Cobra Prime lets you customize the perfect trading package for your needs. The more you trade, the more points you can earn to unlock additional trading tools. Click the link in our YouTube description and sign up to Cobra Prime to elevate your trading experience. So we are back right now. I'm super curious because you've just said the strategy is born from commission-free trading. So it's not like there's some 20, 30, 40-year-old guru who's laid out the playbook for this. have you thought of this? Like, who taught you it? How did you figure it out?
Well, it is, and I'm not saying I'm the only person in the world to land on this, and maybe someone could do this with commissions. I just haven't seen it. It just wasn't on YouTube. And how I landed on it was when I finally hit rock bottom. I was trying to trade like the Guru Ross or like Humbled Trader. Actually, I didn't learn much from her, but say Ricky. And, I was looking for confirmation. I was looking for first candle to make a new high. I was doing the small account way, which is one trade a day, according to these gurus. And it didn't work. Okay, that's the long story short. It didn't work. 12 months, 13 months of trying to copy what was out there for me to learn from for free. Trying to copy that failed. And so what I did was I lowered my share size. And what that allowed me to do inevitably is just keep getting in and out. And just trying to go for that $1 a day, even if it's 10 cents at a time. And because I looked at my metric, I said, I traded 13 months here trying to do what that guru's doing, what that guru's doing, and what all these experienced traders are saying, which is less trades, more money, which maybe is true to some extent. But it wasn't until I lowered my share size. And that allowed me, because I had a cash account again, to take a lot of trades. And what I found was I'm just looking for those quick trades, and those quick trades are often those quick dips in price on a strong stock. And so what I would do is just get in and get right back out. And so at first it was like, okay, I'm going to stick to less trades, but then I realized why, because if I just keep going, I just keep making more money. And so it eventually just kind of was where it's like, I'm up $10. I have plenty of buying power. The stock is still volatile. There's still waves. There's still opportunity. So I just kept going and going. And at first people were, in those early days were like, oh, he's using market orders. Oh, he's taking 200 trades a day. Oh, that less trades, more money. And that was the story. And so at first it was like, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but it was at first there was a lot of naysayers and they were like, no, but I just kept going. And it was just like micro base hit trades, one after another, over and over again. And it eventually came to the point where one day I was able to size up, and it was a day where I was emotionally triggered. This was about a month after I made that switch to small size. I got emotionally triggered. I had already shown consistency. And that's the thing too. I can't stress enough. Like, I traded a month with 25 to 50 shares, and I made way more money than I ever did trying to take 4 or 5 trades with 300 shares. It's hard to believe, but I really just dug into that approach of, let's just get into a trade. If it doesn't work right away, out. If I get into a dip and it's not going green on me within a second, mark it out. Why can I do that? Free commissions.
So, I mean...
And I have small size.
I was going to ask you, so what's your risk on these? But you just said you're immediately out. Immediately. Doesn't matter if you go red, you're not waiting to go red, you're in, didn't do what you thought, you're out. So it could be a green trade like 1 cent, 0.1%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That is the foundation. Now, as I've gotten more experienced, and sometimes I do those W trades where I'm looking for ABC. There's some trades over time now that, I do give them some time to work, but still the foundation is get in. And if it's not going in your favor right away, just get out, because it's free commissions and you have unlimited trades you can take.
Yeah, it's crazy. But is it more... Obviously, you're really in tune with specific patterns in the market, so you can predict how they're going to behave, and then you're going to buy or short accordingly. But is there any confluence or any kind of wait for it to drop to a significant support level, or it's all on the level 2? What is there any secret to this?
I wouldn't say so much secret, but over time you do get a better sense of, hey, let me take a look at the daily chart, right? Let me see what's the bigger picture, right? We're looking for micro movements, but we're looking at the bigger picture. So to answer your question, the secret is all traders are looking at the same thing: is the daily chart good does it look good? Does it look bullish, or is this the kind of stock that likes to just sell off right at the open? Is this kind of a stock that is the daily chart is just garbage? Is this the kind of stock, or is the 5-minute chart, does it look bullish? Is there a bull flag? Is it in a breakout, or is it trending downwards? All right, you're going to want to focus on the stocks that are making higher highs, that are putting in bottoming tails, that it's dropping, but it's coming right back over and over again. All right, because some stocks, they just go straight down. And so it starts not only with the patterns, but also the stock selection. It starts with the stock selection. Is it a low float stock? Is it a stock that has volume? Is it a stock that's above VWAP? Does it have bullish patterns? And then you can start to go into the micro and say, hey, this is a 5-minute breakout out of a wedge, right? That's not a secret. Everybody knows what a wedge is. Everybody knows what a bull flag is, okay? And then from there, you can start to read the price action on the level 2. Is the bid and the ask moving in a way where you can actually see the price dip and then rebound? Or is the bid and the ask flying all over the place? That's what I would call an unstable bid and ask, or an unstable spread. So we're looking for, the right stock, or we're looking for price action that's stable and predictable. We're looking for stocks that are strong. And it's not really like it's not really a secret. It's if you spend any sort of time trading, you see, hey, this is a strong stock. Okay. What patterns do we see on the 5-minute chart? Okay. If that's good, okay, let's go to the level 2. Does this level 2 make sense, or is it hard? Is it hard to read? We're looking for easy money. Easy money. Not every day is going to be easy money. I don't know. I don't know if anybody understood anything I said, but
No.
In essence, that's kind of the idea.
That makes 100% sense. Everything that you're saying makes 100% sense. It's quite inspiring, actually, because you've made 1.7 million doing this. But is it just a case to start of, I'm going to try and make $1 a day, and if I lose $1, I'll quit. Now, and if I make $1, I'm also going to quit, and I'm going to say at the end of the month, I've made more dollars than I've lost dollars.
So the thing with the make the dollar a day is it's a psychological thing. And I push this a lot with my students or friends or whatever you want to call it, the people I've helped find success. And it's a psychological approach where before I was trying to make $100 a day with the bigger size, and that resulted in making nothing. It resulted in making nothing. So what I did is bringing it down to making $1 a day. It's not that I only want to make $1 a day. I'm setting the bar so low that it's almost impossible not to exceed it. That's one. So that starts to bring positive energy into, hey, look, people are setting these bars that they're never going to attain. So every day they're like, I didn't get the $100. I didn't get the $200. So the $1 a day thing is a psychological thing to get people to start focusing on the process, not the profits. It's to start focusing on, hey, you don't need to try to go for the Hail Mary big trade, the one trade a day. Let's just come in here, have fun with small size and try to make $1. You'd be surprised that a lot of people are able to do that when the bar is set low, when the emotions are low, when they actually have an opportunity to use their imagination instead of this whole, I need to make $200 a day for this to work. Let's focus on the process, not the profits. And eventually the profits will come. That's what happened to me. And that's what's happening to a lot of people that I've worked with, is just saying, hey guys, lower your size. Let's just focus on $1 a day. Now, when I did that approach, I ended up making $10, $20, $30 a day. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about $1 per share. I'm literally talking about make $1 a day. Mm. When I changed to that idea, I started to make $10, $15, $20 a day consistently with ease, because I was just taking a bunch of little trades. Not one single trade was putting me at risk of blowing up my account or destroying all my profits on the day. I was just getting in market orders and getting out market orders, which also, that's a big thing with the 50-50. And what I teach, and what was not really being taught at the time, was market orders are amazing, especially for the hyper scalping, because you're not sitting there and getting your order half filled and then it flushes, right? You're just grabbing whatever's there and you're getting out, whatever it is. Yeah. We're not we can't predict the price. You've set a limit order at this price. How many times does it come to your price or a penny before it, and then it rejects? And so although technically the guy with the limit order maybe technically on paper would have been making more money, but over a large sample size, the guy who's just grabbing whatever the market is producing on the bounce back up, he's just gonna be way he's gonna be locking in profits, I think, a lot more consistently than somebody who's setting these limit. Now, with that said, I do use limit orders from time to time, usually on the sell side, and that's and I know I'm going kind of all over the place, but that's when kind of the spreads are bigger, because that's when market orders can kind of screw you.
Yeah.
But I think I may have forgot what your original question was. Yeah, the $1 a day.
But it's more of a case of if someone is hitting limit orders, it's like, what is the opportunity cost of missing out if you don't take the trade? And then if you've got a certain probability of stats, if it works 70% of the time, you don't want to miss some of those trades because it messes with your probabilities as well.
Yeah, it is so many times, like, yeah, it's just you miss the move or you miss the profit taking opportunity because the stock went just a penny below where you thought it was going to go, and no one knows the future. Yeah, we like to say, yeah, it likes to break the whole dollar. It doesn't always. And so it's more so I'm looking for red on the tape for that quick dip entry, and then as soon as I see green on the tape and the price is moving green, I'm selling market, and just over and over again.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm interested to hear. I've heard a lot of people say for a lot of years that the patterns are somewhat easy to learn, but it's the mental aspect that is much more difficult. And the mental aspect is something I've really struggled with. For example, I love to be creative. I also love to drink a bottle of wine. I love to do excessively long runs, but I like to be excessively stupid as well as do excessively healthy things as well. And sometimes in trading, when the emotions run high, being an emotional person, I just don't want to press the sell button in a trade when I'm wrong, when maybe a little bit too much is on the line, or even if just a little bit's on the line. So is there any way of getting over? Because when you're scalping for such little amounts, if you don't keep to your discipline and risk, you can quickly lose a lot of the profits you've worked hard to pick up.
Yeah, and I have developed, because my dad, who I'm teaching this, struggles with this. But what I teach people is the count to three, and especially with the style of the 50-50 of this hyper scalping style. Get into a trade on a dip, right? On you know, and so it's a little harder than just buying a dip, but get into the trade, count to three, and sell. Get into a trade, count to three, and sell. And that's an exercise to just get used to this idea of, hey, we're hyper scalpers. We're getting in. We're looking for just quick pops, quick entries off a dip, either during a breakout, a micro dip at a breakout, maybe a double bottom dip. And so for you, Stephen, that's something I would do, is just get into the habit of, hey, every trade you take, no matter what the outcome is, count to three and sell. Count to three and sell. And so you get into this habit of, I don't even know how many times I've been into a trade where I buy the dip and then it flushes even more. Sell, instantaneous, no hesitation. And it's hard to do. I think I may have forgotten how hard it is. But when you're a hyper scalper, you're so used to just buying market, and then my hand is on the hotkey and sell market right away. And as you get more experience, that's when you can start buying these dips. And in the right moments, you can, instead of selling right away, you can start to hold. And, that's why not only is, hyper scalping is great, but it also kind of helps you learn to hold trades for longer in a way, because you can trust yourself that you will sell it when it turns against you. I don't struggle with that really anymore. I do not. In fact, I struggle more with selling trades too soon and selling them too. A lot of times I buy a trade, it dips a little bit more, and I cut it right away, and then it bounces right back. And that's just what happens. I'll get right back in if that happens. I'll get right back in on the next dip, and it's just in and out. And I think for you, 100%, I know you can do this. But 100%, there's people way dumber out there doing this 50-50, because I taught them. and I can't speak for everybody that's hyper scalping, but I know who I taught, and I know you can do it. So that's an exercise. The count to 3. That's an exercise. That's not what I do and have done to make 1.8, but it's similar.
No, it's very interesting, and this strategy that you're talking about now, people will have seen the other episodes prior. A lot of hyper scalpers. It's in line with this commission-free movement. It's a modern strategy. People are making a lot of money. A lot of people on the Kinfo leaderboard are making a lot of money doing it. So I would personally encourage a lot of people to take this seriously, because I know scalping had a bit of a bad name. It's just scalping. How do you manage your risk? But look, I see a lot of people making a lot of money, and you're making some of the most out of them all. So
yeah, Steven, it's this hyper scalping 50-50 sense. When I first went live with it, actually teaching it on YouTube, I didn't see anybody else doing anything like it. And I started out as a small channel, and there was maybe 10, 15 people following and watching. And of those people, 4 or 5 of them within weeks, not even much time, they replicated exactly. They moved. They were warrior students, and they were kind of doing that whole style. And then they ended up finding my channel by chance, and very quickly they just started replicating it with a lot of success. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I'm saying it seems to me, and that was 2 years ago, it seems to me ever since I taught those people and came live with it, it's just like everybody's doing it, and it seems to be easier than what all these other gurus are doing or had done.
Nah, makes a lot of sense. Makes 100% sense. And I think it's the wave of it's almost a wave of the next generation of trading. And like, you want to be early on it. You don't want to be doing it in 5 years when everyone else is doing it, because it might change everything again. But like, you want to be in on it now, get the money now. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's this idea of this edge erosion that some of my students have been going on about, and they were actually like not wanting to teach people this, and I don't know, maybe eventually that becomes a thing where there's so many people buying market, selling market, over and over. Maybe it just becomes too much. I haven't seen it yet. I think actually the more people involved in this, the better.
Yeah.
But there is that certain idea of like, hey, there is a potential that there comes a point in time that so many people are doing this, maybe even hedge funds. Actually, they're probably already doing it with algorithms. Like, we've basically taken what people were doing with algorithms already for years, and we're just manually doing it. And it may be, it's in my head, possibly the case, but it is that free commissions because if you were charging me $7 a trade based off of how many trades I'll say, it would be like $1,000 of commission every day. It would be like $250,000 of commissions every year. That would soak up at least 50% of my profits.
Yeah.
And so it's these free commissions. It's a new thing. A lot of people are picking up on it, and I think you're going to be the next person to do it.
I'm
if you're interested.
I'm 75% sold in. I'm 80%. I'm 100. I'm 85% sold in. By the end of this, I'll be 100%.
Hey, you might buy my course by the end of this thing. I might sell you.
But talking about transparency gurus and furus, which is the next section, what motivated you to be on Kinfo?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but a lot of people, I think it just came down. A lot of people were like, hey, dude, get on Kinfo. And it was a word of mouth thing where it's like, farmer, get on Kinfo. Because some of the people that, and it's kind of a little bit of I don't want to say drama show, but there were some people that I knew that were hyper scalping that were connected to some of the people I've taught. Okay. But it was mainly because people were saying, hey, get on Kinfo. It's great. And to verify your profits is the icing on the cake. Now, no one was questioning my profits, really. It wasn't because it was like, oh, we don't know if you're legit. I think people had done the research. I'm trading live every day. I'm teaching it. I've taught plenty of people this style. So there was no question. But I just wanted to get my name up there because I'm like, hey guys, look, I got 1.7. It's kind of like that. I like that leaderboard. Kind of reminds me of Call of Duty. Kind of reminds me of Xbox. And so I was like, let me get on there. And not only will it show my stats and back up my whole story, but it's also just kind of a community thing, and that's what Kinfo I think does a great job with.
No, absolutely. And then we'll have the podcast now, and then you're getting to meet everyone in the top 10, and now you're getting to really know the people behind the usernames of the top 10. So it's going to another level as well. It's super cool. But in terms of pumpers, gurus, like I'm thinking about what pumpers. Arguably, you might have mentioned a few pumpers already, questionably. But I'm thinking like Roaring Kitty, Zach, or you could say Warrior Trading. I don't know. I don't want to say he is or he isn't. I don't know. But do you think these guys are good for the industry or bad for the industry?
Well, for Roaring Kitty, I don't really know much about. But I don't know much about what he's doing. The Warrior Trading, how much of a pumper he is, I don't think he is guilty of some egregious pump scheme. If anything, maybe just a little bit pushing the course material a little bit beyond what it's worth, in my opinion. So maybe pumping a course is what Ross is guilty of. Roaring Kitty, I think, is more guilty of pumping actual stock prices. Now, ultimately speaking, Ross, with the following he has, yes, people are going to follow him into trades, and they're going to be probably a second behind him. So, yes, it does increase his profits a little bit. But I'm sorry, what was the question again?
It's the morality, the ethical aspect of pumpers and other.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, the industry has been historically full of some bad actors where it is very much, hey, buy this stock at this time, and then people fall for it. And unfortunately, people a lot of times lose money. Now, I don't think there's anything illegal with saying, hey, guys, this stock, I believe in it. I'm in it. This one could go to the moon. That is one thing. And as long as they clarify, make clear, like, hey guys, by the way, day trading's risky. You could very well get smoked on this. This is my opinion. I'm in this stock. It looks like a good pattern. So I think it is a fine line, and I think a lot of people are guilty of not walking that fine line very well. And that's what I've tried to do since the start, just morally speaking, with the family I was raised in. Just being truly transparent and honest, because even I'm trading live and I have on the banner, hey, mirror trading will result, attempting to mirror trade or copy my trades will result in losses. I don't want anybody to think that I am somehow trying to pump a stock. And that's just something I've done to be over and beyond, I think, the bare minimum of being truly. So as far as Roaring Kitty, I don't know. I don't know what he's all doing, but I hope he's making it clear to at least the new traders that, hey, there is significant risks involved.
The penny stocks have got like the worst name, and they always have these micro cap stocks, especially the low floats that you're trading. Like, would you change anything with the industry, or like, does it not matter as long as you're making money and other people can make money? Does it matter?
Well, would I change anything? I think I have for my channel, and that is just being so honest, so straightforward that it's almost it's not even pretty, right? Telling the truth and being honest is not always a very attractive thing to do, right? I could do the only showing the green days. I could do just showing all these big profits, and I really could just be posting about 1.7 million every day, and I could take all the warnings. I got warnings up the wazoo on my website. I have like my results are not typical. Don't mirror trade. Even with my course, I undersell it because I don't want to be known as that guru. I don't want to be a guru. I want to be me, and I want to be a guy who's helping people. That's what I've done. And so to change anything, I've gotten rid of the gimmicks. The only gimmick I have is the 30% off my course that I don't really push. And I'm not doing the spin the wheel. I'm not doing the small account challenge that the odds are nobody's going to be able to replicate such a thing. This small account, I think that's so deceptive. It's great for clicks. It's great for views. And there's in the industry, there's this idea of, that holy grail. So there's some gurus that are like, this is the holy grail. I don't do that. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that doesn't do that. But that is something I would like to change. I think it is changing. I think people are realizing that these like the Tim Sykes, I'm not saying he's a scammer, but there was this kind of this vibe where people are like, day trading is a scam. I think that's changing. I think the viewpoint of the next generation is changing, and I think it's channels like mine, and I think it's channels like others out there that are also like saying like, hey, we're legit people, verified profits on Kinfo, right, or verified somewhere, and we're not kidding around. We want to help you. Here's a course, right? Here's my course. This course I built as if I would give to a family member. There's no bells and whistles. I think if that's what I would change, it's to get rid of the gimmicks.
It's interesting. I was speaking to Kyle, who echoed similar thoughts to you, and he was saying like 4 years ago it was kind of cool to show a Lambo, and like now if you show a Lambo, it's kind of like you might be a furu, you might be a scammer. Do you know what I mean? Like
100. Yep.
It's changed.
It's changed. The people we don't care, that everybody's got a Lambo really at this point. It's like that card, and it's not even in the day trading sphere. Let's zoom out. It's just the whole online course area that blew up, especially in COVID. And before that, is still a thing where it's like that card has been played and people have fallen for it. People have been sued already. FTC has stepped in. So that card has been played. We get it. You're renting the mansion. It's a rented Lambo probably, even if it's not, no one cares. It's a Lambo. It's not even, for me, I'm a farm kid. I don't want a Lambo. I want a truck. And so, the nicest car I have is a 2003 Mustang that I bought in high school. And then I got a 2017 Toyota 4Runner. Those are my two cars. Okay. And I've sometimes flexed them, but not really. And I still live at home. So I'm not flexing any rented house. I'm not flexing. And I don't want this to be me making myself feel righteous, but just to your point, the Lambo stuff, it's over. It's done. The small accounts challenge garbage, it's done. It's over. It's unrealistic for 99% of people to show up with $500 and to turn it in. It's near impossible. So let's get realistic with people and let's be authentic. And so far, what I've learned is people love it and they're buying it up.
Yeah, I think with technology comes the opportunity for a lot of people to be scammed, but it also brings a lot of transparency, and platforms like Kinfo give credibility where you can find those niche people who are actually good and delivering value. You can also get tricked by a lot of people, but it's also easier to discern who's good from bad with a little bit of intelligence. Like with a little bit of intelligence, like he's on Kinfo, it's verified, he's a Lambo.
Yeah, the Kinfo is great, and the whole thing with Kinfo is yes, the community. Yes, the leaderboards, but it's also just like bringing legitimacy to traders who want, to be helping people, and having the verified profits is allowing people to know they're legit. And the thing is with Kinfo is it's easy to use. And I was always thinking like, hey, where do I verify my profits? I'm like, do I need to go to this CPA firm? What do I need to do? And so when people came to me and they say, hey, Kinfo, all you got to do is sign up, put in some credentials for your broker, and boom, full transparent. And so there was a person in my Discord where there was a question of whether he's legit, and there was a simple solution, and we were like, hey, just sign up on Kinfo, and then we won't question anything. Okay. Unfortunately, and Kinfo is not for everybody. I'm not here to blindly sell it. Kinfo is great, and I've used it, and I'm using it. He decided to not do it, and so that's on him. And so we were not able to for sure verify his profits. But just know that don't be upset when people don't think you're legit.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And then if we move over just to close on just a few tips for some of the newer traders, do you have any advice for, like, for example, what's the biggest problem a new trader you think faces, or traders come to you that face, and what's the advice that you can give for them to overcome it?
I think patience and emotions I think people come into this career thinking it's quick money, it's easy money. So I think new traders come in, kind of with unrealistic expectations. Like, hey, I'm going to put 2 to 3 months into this, and I'm going to be making money like Trading Farmer, or like some of the people you were talking about that you have interviewed. And there's some people that are like, I think in 2 to 3 months I'm going to do it. It's like, no, you got to have realistic expectations. This is going to take years, but on the low end, maybe a year. Okay. But it's going to take time sitting in the driver's seat, putting time on the track, practicing, and the emotions too is another thing. Is people come in and they don't have maybe a stable home. Maybe they struggle with addiction. Maybe they are have a breakup going on, or maybe their back's against the wall. They have bills to pay. They're just not emotionally ready to be performing consistently under pressure in what is probably one of the most emotionally triggering careers you can do. And so you match unrealistic expectations with someone whose emotions are not stable. It creates for an opportunity for people to blow up their accounts, and it just starts to snow. I mean, people talk about it. People have killed themselves over trading losses. It's a sad thing. And so for beginners, you got to really ask yourself, are you serious about doing this the right way? If you are, start in a simulator, graduate to real money, but small size. And if you're trading the 50-50, that shouldn't be too hard to do, because at the end of the day, with the small size you're using, you can just have fun. And if you're having trouble with cutting or losing trades, then you go to Trading Farmer's 3-second exercise. And maybe you have to do that for a month, where it's just like, hey, I'm counting to 3 on every trade, and I'm just working on the process. I might not even make any money this month, but I'm working on just getting into the habit of getting in, getting out, no matter what.
No, it makes full sense. Did anyone actually, what's the best advice anyone's actually given you?
I think the best advice would come from, believe it or not, a lot of the big gurus, but, starting in a simulator. And a lot of people, the simulator gets a bad rap now because Thinkorswim simulator is kind of garbage. But starting into a simulator and actually seeing if you are dedicated to wake up and do this every day. Because here in Arizona, you have to wake up at 6 a.m. I have to wake up at 5:45 in the morning. And so the best advice was to, essentially what I'm relaying to you guys, starting slow, starting in a simulator, having realistic expectations. Don't have this as being your Hail Mary 2 months of learning, and then you're going to go full size trying to make $3,000 a day like Farmer. So the whole idea of going slow, I think that's it.
And the last question, just to close us out on, is, I don't think I've asked, I hope I haven't. It's why do you think that you've succeeded in this industry when 95% of all traders, if not more, lose?
I think there's a lot of reasons. One is thankfully I was able to be in a position where I could work on this every day without pressure of paying bills. And I also never gave up. And I think that's also, I was in a position where I could just keep grinding at a little bit. And there was a lot of setbacks, and there was a lot of times where it's like, I didn't make any money at this for 14 months, 12 to 14 months, not a single dollar. Meanwhile, people are laughing at me. And again, and mind you, there was no hyper scalper on YouTube teaching this stuff. It did not exist. There was Ross Cameron, but again, not a lot of people I know are actually truly trading like him. So there was this idea of like stubbornness. I was stubborn. I had told a lot of people day trading's legit. I had told so many people. So I was like, I cannot quit. And so it's this idea of I never quit. I did it the right way. I started in a simulator for 6 months. I woke up every day. I fell in love. I think that's more. Why did I succeed? I fell in love with it. I got addicted this time, not to drugs, not to weed, not to nicotine. I got addicted to day trading. And And it's just the perfect storm where I had the farm money. So I got the PDT. I had the stubbornness in me to keep going, even when people were laughing and I knew I was drowning. I just was like, is this even possible? So yeah, I think all those things as well as many more. And I think at the end of the day, it's about falling in love with trading, having realistic expectations, and never giving up. That's the recipe that I see, not in myself only. I see it in a lot of successful traders. There's no guru. My course is not going to get you profitable overnight. You're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to go through hell and back over and over again.
I think very beautifully put. Is there any final words? Anything else you want to close out on before we finish out? It's been fantastic. It's been a privilege to talk to you. Thank you for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Eye-opening in many ways for everyone. But any final words?
Final words. I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm happy to, just be on here. And I didn't know, I was like, Steven from Kinfo, I was like, this could be a scam. So I was like, what is this, a setup? Is this a scam? So no, I don't think I have any final words, but I do appreciate, I feel flattered, I guess, that people are reaching out and, I guess I used to be the guy looking up to other people. And now I'm in a position where some people are looking up to me. And I'm trying to be a good steward of that, even though I'm kind of young and I don't hold my tongue. I say, if you guys watch me live, I trade live in the morning for free on YouTube. I definitely I say whatever's on my mind, but I try to do it hopefully in a way that doesn't upset too many people.
But I think that's the most important way to be. The most important way to be is true to yourself. Always being who you really are inside. And I think that's the best way to be likable, because people know that that's the honest version of you. It's like everyone hates these people who are just people pleasers or saying something.
The furu.
The furu.
The guru or furu.
Honesty wins above all. And we'll close out. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And please, guys, leave your comments on your thoughts on this episode, because I'm really curious to hear people's thoughts, because it's a bit more of a, I wouldn't say controversial, I wouldn't say explosive, but there's revelations in the episode. So please do leave your comments and hit a like and a subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. And I just do want to remind you one more time about Cobra's ultimate trader package, Cobra Prime. The link is in the description. Click it below. I'll see you on the next one.